The Holy Gospel according to St. John, the 6th chapter. Glory to you, O Lord. When they found him on the other side of the lake, they asked him, "Rabbi, when did you get here?" Jesus answered, "Very truly I tell you, you are looking for me not because you saw the signs I performed, but because you ate the loaves and had your fill. Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. For on him God the Father has placed his seal of approval." Then they asked him, "What must we do to do the works that God requires?" Jesus answered, "The work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent." So they asked him, "What sign then will you give that we may see it and believe you? What will you do?" "Our ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat." Jesus said to them, "Very truly I tell you, it is not Moses who has given you the bread from heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is the bread that comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." "Sir," they said, "always give us this bread." Then Jesus declared, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." This is the gospel of our Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. Please be seated. Our readings today are all about giving thanks. We pause for a moment and think about what we are to be thankful for. Our lives, our health, our families, our jobs, our community, the world. And who do we give thanks to? We give thanks to God. For without God, there would be nothing. Think about all these beautiful quilts that surround you. Think of all the people that donated the fabric and the thread and the yarn. Think about the hours and hours of sewing and stitching to put these quilts together. And now think about the people that are going to receive them, that perhaps this is the one item that's going to keep them from being cold. It might just be their only possession. Now think about the sights and the sounds that these 4 people experienced when they were in Tanzania. When you go on a mission trip, whether it's a mission trip here in the United States or whether it's a mission trip in Africa, like they went to Tanzania, it is life-changing. You will never be the same. And the experiences that they had that they're going to share with you, they're kind of like a Paul conversion moment. They had moments just like that with the people that they were with, that rejoiced and were so thankful even though they had, compared to our standards, nothing. When we realize that everything in life, all those things that we've been delivered from and all those things that we possess, that they all come from God, oh, how then we can be thankful. We are a people that have truly been blessed. And let us be a grateful people, dependent upon God for all of life. And now I'm going to invite these 4 people that had an experience of a lifetime to share their stories.
Thank you. We give thanks to the Endowment Committee here at Grace Lutheran Church, the women of the church at Grace, and all who supported us during our journey, whether financially and with your prayers. We thank you to allow us to share our mission stories with you this morning, and I encourage you to stay after worship and watch the slideshow of our journey to Tanzania this past July. There were 14 in our group total. Myself, Michelle, Alicia, and Danny were from Grace. Dave Schaub, Jim Tooman, Mindy Miller, and her daughter Mary. Mindy and Doug Morris were from St. John's, Fremont. Stella from St. Mark's in Bowling Green, Allie from First in Toledo, David from St. Peter Catholic Church in Dayton, and Matt from First Lutheran in Findlay. The youth ranged from age 16 to 32. I'm not going to tell you the age of the older adults, except I wasn't the oldest one this time. Our group met several times prior to leaving for discussion and orientation. We also gathered supplies for school kits and health kits, which we gave to the children and members of Aringa Road Lutheran Church, Mandani Lutheran Church, and Emsgoli Lutheran Church. We took over 40 clergy shirts, altar paraments from a Lutheran church in Sandusky that had closed, and clergy stoles. These were given to the diocese, who gave them to pastors who cannot afford clergy apparel. We were honored to witness a baptism of 3 children at Emsgoli Church and to receive the sacrament of Holy Communion as well. We stayed at the guest house at Mandani Lutheran Church. St. John's Fremont has financially supported the building of this guest house. Dave, Mindy, and myself are humbled to have our names on the cornerstones. The joy of staying at Mandani is that they have a school, and every morning we were greeted by kindergarten children arriving for class. What a joy. On Saturdays, they host a school for the Compassion International children. Compassion International is a service project that helps support children who cannot afford to attend school. They are a mixture of the unchurched and the Muslim population in Dodoma. One definition of mission is the act or instance of sending. Mission is not always about physical labor. Our initial project was canceled because the source of water we needed was not available. However, another opportunity came along for us to finish the outside of the guest house we were staying in, and we were able to work alongside the people of Mandani to complete that task. Mission is not only in a third world country. Mission is here in Fremont, here at Grace Lutheran Church. Mission is Lift. The mission to share the gospel with all. There's the mission of invitation, the invitation to worship, invitation to Bible study, the invitation to Sunday school, the mission of the Sandusky County Food Pantry, and Share and Care. There's the mission of raising funds for clean, safe water for all. And the list goes on and on. We are surrounded by mission. To do mission, you have to get out of the boat. You have to go beyond these 4 walls. I am proud of my companions who were willing to venture outside their comfort zone and experience that unknown of mission. As families of faith, God invites us to examine how we encounter the stranger. The hard work comes in walking towards the difference and seeing our neighbors for who they are, children of the same God. I'm happy to share this time with my traveling companions from July. They will each share a story of what especially touched their heart in Tanzania. I am especially touched by the women and how they quietly hold their families together with love and care, and their faithfulness and participation in the life of the church and their very Christ-centered lives. I also champion the need for clean, safe water to be available for all. We at Grace, through our Christian Missions Ministry, have and continue to support with funds for the completion of the well in Emsgoli. Our goal is to build a solar pump so it stops breaking and water is available always. Next week at the outdoor worship service, we'll kick off that campaign for clean water, so plan to attend and look for more information. We all have many stories to share, but so very little time. So I encourage you to further the conversation with each of us after worship and learn more of our brothers and sisters in Tanzania and of mission. The slideshow will be running after worship, so stay a while and experience that journey. And oh, I forgot to tell you, worship in Tanzania is at least 2 hours or more. So sit back, relax, and get comfortable.
Good morning. I got told this morning they couldn't hear me in the back. Something I learned is that women in every country are the same. We are up early in the morning, getting our children and our family ready for the day. We are usually the last to go to bed. For me, going to Tanzania started out with just my daughter wanting to go on a mission trip. I felt selfish because at first I didn't want her to go. But I realized at 17 she was selfless, and I decided to go with her. What I didn't realize was that this trip would change me. In Tanzania, the women embrace you. Their greeting, jambo, caribou, is also met with an embrace. They hug you, and you feel that hug as a mother embraces her child. These women I had the privilege of getting to know was with me being in the kitchen with them. The women in our group helped to prepare a meal. And after that, I just wanted to go back and help again and be with them. The Tanzanian women, while teaching me to prepare a dish with them, taught me something. That the space, as small that it is in their home, is a place where they share their joys and their sorrows. As we worked, Mama Anna and I talked and laughed, and I saw that they made me feel like I was part of their family, which I just became just by being there. The piece of material, this piece is worn, it's called a conga, and when you work, it's wrapped around you. And these women will come up and they will wrap it around you, kind of like we wear a bath towel here. They'll tuck it right in, tuck it right in. And as they put this on you, they embrace you. And it's just not about something that's going to keep you clean. It's just about them. Also during our time, the women in the hostel, at Mandani and Iringa Road took really good care of us. Mama Kingu always made sure that we had hot water for our baths at night and stayed until we got there, till we got back from anything that we ventured to. We always had hot water for tea and coffee, which we drank often. Our meals were prepared with love, and if our clothes needed washed, they made sure it was done for us. Each day we were greeted with a smile and a true concern for how we were doing, and it was such an honor just to know them. I not only felt honored, but I truly felt blessed to be able to spend the time with these women in Mandani and Iringa Road because they inspire me. Pastor Etta, Pastor Grace, Mama Kingu, Mama Anna, and so many more women not only became my friends, they watched over us. They took care of us. And this blessing comes from the heart. No matter where we went, they watched over like a family does. During this thanks offering weekend, I would just like to say Asante San, which in Swahili means thank you so much for your prayers, your supports, which made this trip possible for us. Each of us received a gift, another piece of material, but one we were used to be wrapped up in. And it wasn't just something that could keep us warm. This material was a way of God letting us be wrapped up in His love and the blessings from all of our friends in Tanzania. Thank you.
Good morning and habari to all of the congregation here. The definition of habari from Swahili to English is a greeting of hello and be kind of in your graces. And while we were there, we always felt that it was more than just saying, hey, how's it going? It was more of we want you here and we're happy to have you here and we're happy to have you in our hearts. When I talk about my mission trip with our group, I can never explain to anyone exactly how much it meant to me to be able to go there and be with these people. There's no time in the world, there's no pictures that we can share with you to explain. The only thing that I can ever tell anyone is find a way to go. Go there and be with these people and experience it. they taught us so much while we were there, and it was such an amazing experience that it was all about everything that they did and could teach us and give to us back. The quote that I really brought back with me was bega qua bega, which in English means shoulder to shoulder. This is how the people of Tanzania work. They always work together, they live together like this, and they worship together. They stand side by side, helping one another spiritually and in their hearts, and they never let up. It's always right there with them. And that's how I feel that I've wanted to build my life as I've come back here with my business and my friends and the congregation here. So to conclude, I would just like to say thank you for all of your contributions and all your prayers while we were there and when we got back. I did bring a few things with me this morning, and Alicia will actually talk about the word caribou when she gets up here. And there are a couple other artifacts that we kind of have that we brought with us that if you'd like to see, please ask us about them. We love sharing our stories. It's all about the time that you have to hear us and experience those people and with the slideshow. Thank you.
Caribou and Asante Sana. Two things that I learned while over in Tanzania. Caribou meaning welcome. Welcome to our home, to our village, to our country. It was overwhelming to hear the amounts of welcome we had there. They didn't care about anything but just having us there. Then Asante Sana is how we would thank them. We'd say, thank you for having us here. Thank you for everything you've done. They prepared their houses, they prepared their living to meet our standards as much as they could. While over there, I got to experience the youth, being one of the younger people to go. And we were in Mindani, where we had stayed at the hostel. They had a church where we got to participate with the youth. We got to sing songs and dance with them, and we even got to teach them one of our songs that we had brought over there. They couldn't get enough of it. They absolutely loved our music. They just wanted to sing more and more. Another time I got to experience the youth in the church was at Aringa Road. We went before supper time just to go in and sing. There was no real choir practice or anything. We just went in there and started singing, and they taught us songs that we didn't even know the words to. They were just happy to have us singing. Other times we would play catch with a ball that we had brought over just with the younger kids, and it was the simplest joy that brought a smile to their face. We got to visit children in the classroom, give away t-shirts that were made by other children here. We got to give away toys that Danny had brought over, and we also got to give away little toy cars that David had brought, Becky's grandson. And they lit up with this joy that I've never seen before, because they don't usually get things like this. It's something very special to them to have this little gift that we give them mean the world. Another time that I got to spend with the youth was walking through Dodoma, and they would teach us about their way of life there, teach us sayings, and just really connect with them. It amazed me how much they knew and how much they wanted to experience with us. They were so willing to just give everything they had to us. One last thing I want to leave with you is always welcome everyone. Welcome those people here. Welcome everybody. We were welcomed over here. They're always welcome here. They're welcomed in our hearts. And Asante Sana to everybody on this thank offering weekend. Thank you for your prayers, your thoughts, and everything you gave to us before and after and during. Finally, I'll share my favorite memory, one that I hold dear to myself. When we arrived back in Mindani after visiting a pastor, I had seen a little boy, and I bent down, shook my hands a little bit, and he ran into my arms and started holding me so tight. I didn't want to let go, because you never know who he was going to run into next and hold on to. Thank you, everyone.
There is much to give thanks for. They have many, many more stories that they'd like to share. And they will be at all 3 doors if you'd like to speak to one of them after the service. I now invite you to please stand for the